What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building with another banger. Now, first things first, before we go ahead and get started, I gotta go ahead and say thank God for another day and another opportunity. And as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen, today I put together a very special build for y'all. Now, I'm going to be calling this one the back-to-basket post-hooker build, which comes out to a back-to-basket guard in NBA 2K24 on next gen. Now, this build out of all NBA players is going to be reminding me of DEANGELO Russell. Now, for this one, when it comes to our attributes, we'll get a 99 plus when it comes towards our club shot, post control, and stamina. Now, we'll also be able to get pro dribble moves, and this build is a really elite post scorer for a guard. The interior is really the main attribute and strong suit of today's build, and the offense is perfect to be effective in all four areas. Now, as far as for the physicals, I think they're very balanced, and this is absolutely one of the most and best rare builds that you can possibly make when it comes to having a unique name. Now, before we get any further, if it's your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family, and last but definitely not least, comment down TG for Thank God King Jesus and where you're tuning in from, and I most definitely will be sure to get back to y'all with the response. So the first thing that you want to do is leave this build under the point guard position. As for the height, let's go with 6'5" today. And then for the weight, I decided to leave this at 203. But as for the wingspan, let's max this out to 7'2". Now, if you follow the physicals, we should be all set to move forward. And the first area that I want to get into is going to be the speed. So I decided to go ahead and put this all the way up to an 87. When it comes to the acceleration, I'm going to go with an 86. And then for that strength, put this all the way up to a 66. As for when it comes to the vertical, let's go with a 70. And then for the stamina, put this all the way up to a 95. Now, if you take into consideration the +4 from the Gatorade facility workout, we'll have a 99 stamina, 74 vertical, 70 strength, 90 acceleration with a 91 speed. Now, I think these physicals are pretty solid. Let's go ahead and move forward with the defensive end. So for that interior, let's go ahead and put this all the way up to a 72. Moving into the perimeter, I like this best at an 81. And then getting into the block, let's go ahead and put this all the way up to a 72. As for the rebounding on the defensive end, let's put this up to a 60. And then for that steal, move this to a 43. Now, this is what we're going to be looking like for today's defensive area. Eventually down the road, once you upgrade the rest of the attributes, the 26 as well as the 43 steal will be brought up, which is why I'm leaving these as is. But feel free to make your own changes and adjustments to your own playstyle. Now, when it comes to the pass accuracy, go ahead and put this all the way up to a 75. Getting into the ball handle, I like this best at an 80, and that will allow you to unlock most of the pro upgraded dribble packages. Now, when it comes to the speed of the ball, I'm going to leave this at a 55, and for the playmaking, this is what we're going to be looking like today. Now, for the shooting, as for that mid-range shot, let's go ahead and put this all the way up to a 76. As for the three-pointer, I decided to leave it as is. But for that free throw, let's go all the way up to an 80. And as you can see, this is what we're going to be able to do so far with the offensive end. Now, to wrap everything up on today's build, let's get into the most important part. So as for the club shot, put this all the way up to a 99. Getting into the driving layup, I like this best at an 80. 71 when it comes down to our driving dunk. And then as for that post control, make sure you go all the way up to an 87. Now, this is what we're going to be looking like once we max this build out to 99 overall. So let's go ahead and start from the top down when it comes to these badges. My favorites are going to be Gold Fearless Finisher. We also get Hall of Fame Giant Slayer. From there, I also do like Pro Touch, Whistle. Dream Shake on Gold is definitely more than effective to break ankles when it comes to the post scoring end. As for when it comes to the rest, I'm looking at Fast Twitch, Hook Specialist to go with the build name. Then we get Master and Post Fade Phenom. For that driving layup, we're still going to get other badges like Slithery, Acrobat, Aerial Wizard Bunny, Float Game with Pro Touch and Hall of Fame, and then also we get Scooper. For the driving dunk, I'm happy with badges like Precision Dunker. You're also going to be able to get Spin Cycle and 2-Step. And then for the post control, we get Silver Unpluckable. We're also going to be able to get Gold Break Starter and then Post Big Technician on the gold tier. As for the finishing, I think this is definitely one of the best builds that you can possibly make. Now, if you want to make any changes to your own playstyle, get more out of certain areas, feel free to go ahead and do so. Now for the shooting, as you can see, we get Bronze Blinders, Deadeye, Silver Catch and Shoot with Green Machine, Guard Up and Space Creator. Then we get badges like Midi Magician and Open Looks. As for the free throw, I really do believe that Silver free points is going to be more than enough to take this build into the 5s, Rec, and Pro-Am. Now for the pass accuracy, the badges that I like are going to be Silver Dimer. We also get Relay Passer, Special Delivery on the Silver tier with Touch Passer, and Break Starter is definitely another important one. As for the ball handle, as you can see, we get Silver handles for days, Killer Combos on the Bronze tier, then we still get Ankle Breaker, Physical handles with Triple Strike. Now this build overall for the offensive end, you can definitely carry your weight, especially if you take into account activating your takeover, buying boosts as well as wearing here. That's at least a plus 10 to 15 depending on the way that you look at it. Now let's wrap up the defensive end. So for this side of the ball, we're going to be able to get badges like Silver Workhorse. We'll also be able to get clamps on the Bronze tier. I like 94 feet with ankle braces. Then we get Challenger, Fast Feet, Pick Dodger with Off-Ball Pass. Now when it comes to the block, I do like Chase Down Artist at least on the Bronze tier. And then for that defensive rebound, to wrap everything up, we do get Rebound Chaser. So we do have a lot of potential when it comes to today's build, especially when it comes to this arsenal of badges that are open up to us. I think you're really in store for one of the best rare build names and overall builds that you can make this year on Next Gen. Now I want to know your thoughts and opinions down below. Is there anything that you would possibly do to go ahead and make this build better, change, or possibly use to even get the same build name with a completely different lineup of badges and attributes? Let me know what you find out down below. But from here, let's go ahead and move forward to make sure that everybody made this build correctly. Now we should be able to get these 3 different comparisons, and as y'all can see, together we have created the back-to-basket post-hooker build coming out to a guard in NBA 2K24 on Next Gen. Now if you add everything up of what I previously did mention, you'll be able to see the true and full potential of today's build. Now my favorite thing is definitely going to be the build name. Let me know yours down below. And before we get out of here, if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Smash that like button. Turn on post notifications to be a part of the rich family. And last but definitely not least, comment down TG for Thank God King Jesus and where you're tuning in from, and I most definitely will be sure to get back to y'all with the response. And with all that being said though, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.
DEANGELO. DEANGELO.